Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. The goal of this video is to inspire you to help fight back against the tyranny that is upon us all. By the end of this video, I hope that you are willing to call the police departments and the government offices that are responsible for the deliberate propaganda in the U.S. mainstream media in the last week. I am referring to the shooting of Alton Sterling in Louisiana, the shooting of Philando Castile in Minnesota, and the response shooting at a Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas against police officers. All three of these stories are psychological operations waged by our government, by our police, by our media against us for the sake of agenda. That is not an opinion, that is a fact. If you are new to my channel, I have broken the code, if you will. If there is a code in this world worth breaking, I've broken it. And I've been showing since 2013 how the media is scripted by the numbers, by occult esoteric practices, which are used by the Freemasons who rule over us in government, in media. A lot of people who live in this nation, the United States of America, don't know about its Masonic history and the Freemasons in high places who all this time have abided by these esoteric practices. I have a book that's almost finished. It shows how the entire country's history is by the numbers. And what we're going to show in this video is just the latest example, which goes with centuries worth of stories by the numbers building up to it. So, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm going to review things I've discussed in the previous day's videos. I'm going to bring new information to the table in this video, and I'm going to show you why you need to contact your police department, your government, and let them know that you know they've been selling you out. The day these people know the masses are onto them is the day this madness is going to stop. These people are staging stories to work people up and break out real chaos. The Freemasons have two mottos. Well, they have more than two, but these are their main two. Order through chaos and divide and conquer. Now, with that said, let's get into what's going on here with these staged shootings involving the police, something that's been going on for decades. This is nothing new, but right now it's reaching a pinnacle and it needs to be stopped. So here's a story from May 27th, 2016. This is about the Louisiana governor signing a bill called Blue Lives Matter on May 26th, the day before. Let me show you what Blue Lives Matter is about, and then we'll talk about the date of the signing. This is the article written about the signing. This is how it begins. With the nationwide friction between the Black Lives Matter movement and supporters of law enforcement as a backdrop, Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, that's the new governor this year, signed a bill Thursday expanding the state's hate crime statute to include the targeting of police officers, firefighters, and EMS personnel. So this is a bill meant to protect public servants from would-be attackers, and look who's named first, Black Lives Matter. What I'm going to show you is how this bill is directly synced up with the news of Sterling and Philando Castile, as well as the response, the shooting of the police in Dallas at the Black Lives Matter protest. All of this stuff is orchestrated, planned by the numbers. So, the day this bill, Blue Lives Matter, was signed, May 26th, that's the 146th day of the year in non-leap years. This year is a leap year, so it was the 147th day. The word police in Jewish gematria equals 147. And if you're new to my channel, I show how often the police spokesperson in a police shooting story has the name gematria of 147. It's true in the story of Alton Sterling. I've shown this in the video I put out. The police officer's name, Johnny, whatever it is, sums to 147. The Freemasons in most cities, their police department is right across the street or right down the street from the Freemason Lodge. The same is true where I live. The same is true in Dallas. Be sure to check out my friend Jeff Young, Music Without Boundaries. He heard the call. 2 days ago, I said people need to contact their police, their mayors. He went out and called. He made the call. He talked to a police officer in the Dallas Police Department that admitted the Freemason Lodge was just down the street, but then didn't want to talk about if they were a Freemason themselves. A lot of these police officers in our nation, they serve the Freemasons before they serve anyone else. The Masons rule over this nation. It's Freemasonry before anything else. Look at George Washington's plaque, the first president, as we recognize him, a Freemason. Where he died, his tombstone says, George Washington, Freemason, and president. Notice what comes first. The number 147, it's a special number in gematria and numerology. In numerology, the master builder is number 22. 22, a very special number. Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the book of prophecy, 22 chapters, very important book in regards to this nation. This entire nation is scripted around the book of prophecy. If you think that's crazy, check out my research, check out what I've shown. It's not crazy, it's the truth. The Freemasons work from the book of prophecy. They are fulfilling prophecy with each of these stories. If you haven't seen my past work on the Dallas shooting, we'll review some of it. A lot of prophecy coding in this story. But master builder, important concept, has that 147 gematria. Blue Lives Matter sums to 58, just like Freemasonry. Very special number to this gang, coded into the bill to protect police, which are ruled by the Freemasons, who operate by the numbers. Alton Sterling killing, gematria 58, just like Stop Killing Us, the signs that the protesters are holding, Stop Killing Us, the popular sign. All of this stuff is orchestrated. It's all meant divide and conquer, get the races mad at each other, get people dividing, fighting over stage nonsense. What you should know about the name Alton Sterling is with Pythagorean gematria, there's an exception on the letter S. S is the 19th letter. What you do in this adding method is you break each letter down to a single digit. So S is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 for 19 becomes 10. And then 1 plus 0 becomes 1. S is the only letter in the English alphabet that you have to reduce twice like that. First 19 becomes 10, then 10 becomes 1. Every other letter, it's just you add it one time, it's a single digit. So S is special. It can be 10 or 1. In this calculator, it does S as 1 every time. But if you use S as 10, which is also acceptable, Alton Sterling sums to 67. And the reason this is important is because the date numerology of the Blue Lives Matter bill, May 26, 2016, was a date with 67 numerology. Blue Lives Matter also sums to 67 this way. So does Freemasonry, just like Alton Sterling. The news of Alton Sterling was July 6th, which in most parts of the world is written 6/7. Later that day, there was the shooting of Philando Castile, which equals 67, also on July 6th. Both the numbers 58 and 67 have numerology breaking down to 13. 13, a special number in Freemasonry. The USA began with 13 colonies. USA equals 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. These numbers often paired together. From the date of Blue Lives Matter until the date of Alton Sterling being shot, 41 days. Again, 41, the 13th prime number, directly connected. The news of his shooting was a span of 42 days. 42 is the number negatively stamped on black Americans again and again. It represents the most hateful word for them. Jackie Robinson wore 42 for this reason. Notice this story. What is a hate crime? This is from May 26th, going with the signing of the bill. This is CNN's story. I'll link this post in the description. You can watch this. Notice they made the video a minute 03. Drop the 0. You're back to 13. 13. Here's the governor that signed the bill, John Bell Edwards, a military man before becoming governor. Remember, the military runs this nation. It is a military strategic nation. It's been at war since its inception. War is used to raise profit for the banker tyrants who rule over us, and also to keep us subdued and obeying authority. Notice John Bell Edwards is the 56th governor. This is going to be a big number. Black Lives Matter in gematria equals 56. His bill targeted Black Lives Matter. Now we get this police shooting at the Black Lives Matter rally. The shooting in Louisiana happened at the Triple S Food Mart. S, again, breaks down to 1. This man became governor on 1/11, January 11th, SSS, 111. I'm going to show how this shooting is synced up with the governor. Last year, I showed how the Bobby Jindal, the former governor, whose name in Gematria equals the same thing as Freemason, how his birthday was synced up with the Louisiana theater shooting, which came just after the James Holmes trial, who shot up the theater. 58 was scripted all over that shooting, just like Freemasonry. It's always the same thing with this gang. Once you know how to recognize their coding, they are very redundant. Black Lives Matter, 56, 56th governor. Black Lives Matter with the S and K exception sums to 74. 74, a special number to the gang, special number to this nation. The Triple S Food Mart, where the supposed shooting happened in Louisiana, where the Blue Lives Matter bill was signed. Then Alton Sterling, by the numbers, as we're getting to. Triple S Food Mart has the same gematria as Black Panther Party. And in this Dallas shooting, they're bringing up the Black Panther Party. The new Black Panther Party was protesting in Charleston last year after the staged shootings that were 74 days apart. Walter Scott was shot on 4/4, the 47-year anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. 74 days later, there was the shooting of the Charleston church, by the numbers. Dylan Stormroof arrested on Interstate 74. Dylan Stormroof equals 74. White supremacist equals 74. Triple S Food Mart 74. Black Panther Party 74. Jewish 74. Masonic 74. And it is the Masonic Zionist Jews controlling the banking, controlling the nations, controlling the media. Read the Protocols of Zion and how the easiest way to divide the populace is over race, then over religion, just as they do with their media. It's so transparent when you recognize what's really going on in this world. Black Panther Party started in 1966 by Huey P. Newton. Huey P. Newton, 58. Freemasonry, 58. He started it in Oakland, 58. This year, Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl related to Huey P. Newton. The Super Bowl was hosted just outside of Oakland. Not a coincidence. I talked about this stuff before the Super Bowl even came around. Here's that sign that they're holding at the protest, "Stop killing us." This is a subliminal programming, this numerical code. Watch Will Smith in the movie Focus and what he talks about numbers in our subconscious. We all know the alphabetic order. Our brains are very powerful tools. Most of our conscious mind, is just a small part of our brain. Subconscious, huge. Our brain is doing these calculations for us. Our subconscious is sharper than us. So, from the day the governor who signed Blue Lives Matter became governor to the day he signed the bill, 137 days. 137 is the 33rd prime number. Get this. Police equals 33. This is a bill for the police. Federal equals 33. Think about the federal police, the FBI involved in all these shootings. Race war 33. It's targeting Black Lives Matter. These are boss numbers in this nation. 137, the 33rd prime. 33, the number of Freemason obsession. The Masonic Lodge in Washington, D.C. has 33 pillars. Anyone who watched the news coverage of the Dallas shooting, a whole lot of talk of pillars. Pillars, very important in Freemasonry. American Meridian is the meridian that cuts through Washington, D.C., the federal headquarters. It has the same gematria as Washington, D.C., 137, the 33rd prime. Again, federal 33. Authority equals 137. The federal government, the authority. The federal government uses all sorts of controlled opposition to dupe the masses, from Black Lives Matter to Black Panther Party to even things such as Anonymous. If it gets mainstream coverage, it's likely part of their game. So this bill targeted hate crimes. Hate crime has gematria 46. So does Baton Rouge. So does turquoise, the color shown, the shirt of Alton Sterling. So does sacrifice. So does Dallas, Texas. So does Dallas police. That isn't in this post because I wrote this post before the Dallas shooting. But following the numbers, Dallas police become the victims of the hate crime, tying in with Blue Lives Matter. All of these stories are coming at the time last year where it was Sandy Bland, which was another psychological operations. I was explaining then, this is all part of a building narrative. This is going somewhere worse. It's going to continue to get worse as we don't stop it. You can go back and watch my videos. I made this video channel right after the Michael Brown shooting to share my research, and that's what I've been doing ever since, catching everybody up on what's been going on. All these scripted shootings meant to provoke. And it's not to say that the police aren't criminal and they're not racist and they're not awful to almost everyone. I wholeheartedly know that. It is to show that they make these stories to push people even further over the edge. So you might recall Sandy Bland was from Chicago. Chicago has that 46 coding, the Masonic Zionist Mecca. Chicago also has Gematria 37. Alton Sterling was 37 years old. You look at a lot of these stories over the years centered around the race war, lots of Chicago connections. A lot of people born in Chicago and things happened to them elsewhere. Sandy Bland had just left Chicago to go to Texas. Remember? And then a week after her story, there was a smaller story about a Hispanic man from Chicago who moved to Texas and was found dead in his jail cell. A lot of people didn't catch that story the way they did Sandy Bland, but it's all on this video channel. It's all in my book, Race War. I show how they mock us. So anyway, 2 days ago now, July 7th, the same day as the Dallas shooting, look, Chicago before the shooting was trying to pass the Blue Lives Matter thing in their city. Chicago, a city divided into 77 neighborhood areas. Judaism equals 77 on 7-7. Look at the coding, Truth Seeker. It's undeniable. 33 coded over all these stories. Think about Rodney King beaten on March 3rd, Trayvon Martin buried on March 3rd, the initials TM, like trademark. For Trayvon Martin, that's 20 plus 13, 33. George Zimmerman, his killer, GZ, G the 7th letter, Z the 26th, 7 plus 26, 33. Buried on 3/3, the anniversary of Rodney King. LAPD equals 33. Same thing over and over and over. Go back and watch my first video before they announced the shooter in Michael Brown. I predicted when his name came out, it would sum to 33. His name came out, it was Darren. Darren summed to 33. Ended up showing a lot more than that. Michael equals 33. Love to use Michael in these shootings. So the mayor, let's look at his personal stats and his birthday. They always line these things up with the birthdays. We're going to show how that is. True in Dallas as well. I put out a video showing the mayor, how he's all synced up with the Dallas shooting. We're going to talk about the Texas governor. We're going to talk about the Minnesota governor. Just a little review. Some of you who've seen the other videos, hate to be redundant, but people need to have this information. From the date of the shooting until the governor's upcoming birthday, he's born September 16th, 1966. He's currently 49 years old. Dallas equals 49 in Gematria. Dallas has been a huge number. 49 dead at the Pulse shooting. Pulse equals 73, like the span of days. There were 103 victims in the Pulse shooting. Remember that minute 03 video we saw for hate crimes with the signing by this same governor? This is really how they sync it all up. They do this every time, as crazy as it seems. But what really stands out here is the span of 2 months and 11 days. Alton equals 211 in Jewish Gematria. Mason equals 211 in Jewish Gematria. Again, it's the Alton Sterling shooting in Louisiana where this governor is. 211 is the 47th prime. The governor's name is John. John equals 47. So does agent. So does president. So does obey. So does authority. So does judge. So does gavel. The word jury has Gematria of 74. These are special numbers. Louisiana has Gematria of 38 and 47. 211, the 47th prime. The shooting was at Triple S Food Mart. Check out the address on Triple S Food Mart. 211, huh? Here's the witness supposedly talking. They got him right here with his head right up against the address. These numbers, again, subconscious programming. From the date of the shooting to the date of his birthday, the total span of days is also 74 days, like Masonic, like Jewish, like killing. Also 10 weeks and 4 days, like message received, also like the last name Sterling, the name of the victim. We'll talk about at the end how the name Sterling corresponds with the pound sterling in the UK, which is collapsing. This shooting was at Triple S Mart, which is across the street from Big Ben. Big Ben, the name of the store across the street. Big Ben over in the UK and London. London equals 74, where the pound sterling is collapsing. All of these stories are riddles in the media by the One World Masonic Zionist Order. This is bigger than the United States. Something to understand. The United States was created by this Masonic order that came over from Europe. that probably originated in the, ancient times. Egyptians, Babylonians. This stuff goes way back. It came here is the point. John Bell Edwards in English Gematria. Interesting how it syncs up with Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the planned event happened. Again, a psyop for the United States of America. If you've never read the book 1984, emphasis on 84, a book written after World War II, it's about a futuristic nation where the people are ruled through propaganda, through screens. Take a look at the United States of America. So that was the governor of Louisiana. Now here's the governor of Minnesota, Mark Dayton, where the other planned shooting happened. Remember, Louisiana and Minnesota both equal 38 like death. Mark Dayton, these governors telling their people they got to pray for the victims. What I noticed about Mark Dayton right away is his January 26th birthday. 126, that number sequence, huge in false flag terrorism right now. Very big in the Orlando shooting on June 12th, written 12/6, which came 126 days after the Super Bowl. In that Super Bowl, I talked about how the symbolism of it, a scripted game, which I predicted months before it happened, I said it was connected to future race war tragedies, and I also pointed out the gay tribute at halftime saying, they might have a divisive issue there as well. Sure enough, gay shootings, black shootings, all by the numbers, all about pitting people against each other, getting them worked up. This man, Mark Dayton, born on a date with 93 numerology, number of Saturn, special number. You find it coded in the birth numerology of these people at the top often. Gematria of 70, or numerology of 74 as well in his birth, like Masonic. The Zionist nation, Israel, very much centered around the numbers 47, 74, 93. You can watch my older videos on Knesset, their Congress, how they've set up their nation. It's them who rules over us, who these numbers are most important to. The shooting in Minnesota happened in Falcon Heights, having gematria of 64, like Civil Rights Act in 64. The full name of this mayor also has gematria of 64. So does the word Israel. So does the word Zion. So does the religion Thelema, the occult religion that worships the number 93. That's very important to the establishment of Israel and the way they abide. Do as thou wilt. Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act as the 44th president. In simple English gematria, his name, Mark Dayton, sums to 122. That's just like Freemason in the Francis Bacon gematria, special number to the gang. 41, the 13th prime. The shooting in his state came 41 days after the Blue Lives Matter bill. A bunch of states are considering the Blue Lives Matter legislation. These shootings, these staged shootings, that's what they're going to do. They're going to get more states to pass Blue Lives Matter, which gives more funding for police, for body armor, armored vehicles, higher, potency weaponry. This is what we're doing by engaging in this propaganda. Everybody who goes out to protest in these Black Lives Matter protests, they are being used as an excuse to fulfill the agenda. Blocking the freeway last night in Dallas, the day after, they're going to say, see, we need the Blue Lives Matter. We need the more armored police so we can break that up and keep our interstates going. All of this stuff is staged. If you've never heard my story from May Day 2012, downtown Seattle, where Seattle became the national news story after all the windows broken, I was there. The police were breaking the windows. The police were allowing the windows to be broken. They finally broke it up at the very end of the march just for the tear gas, for TV. I was there. I experienced the gas. I saw it all. I saw how deliberate the propaganda was. They stage the problems to create the narrative to fulfill the agenda. It's very simple if you think about it. His initials, MD, like medical doctor. M is the 13th letter, breaks down to 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. D, the 4th. MD, 44. Shooting equals 44. Here he is coming out after the shooting. Planned, staged by the numbers. Kill, officer, shooting, all gematria 44. The word troopers 44. The word militaries 44. Look at what day NATO began. 4/4, April 4th. Wesley Clark, the old commander at NATO who ran for president, 44. I don't even know who the commander is now. Probably another 44 name. Mark Dayton also took office on January 3rd, 1/3, a lot like 13. Mark Dayton equals 41, the 13th prime. How fitting. Surprised he's not the 41st governor. From the day he took office until the date of the shooting, 185 days. 185 is a number coded all over 9/11. If you watch the movie Monsters, Inc., which is about, how a gang creates fear to control people, to steal their energy, to survive off of, that movie came out just after September 11th. All sorts of 9/11 coding in that movie. The motto is, we scare because we care. 185, World Trade Center 185. And that really is what's going on in this world. They scare us because they care about fulfilling their agenda, their madman agenda of prophecy. From the mayor's birthday until the date of the shooting of Philando Castile, 163 days. That's the 38th prime number. Again, like Minnesota, like death, like Louisiana. Philando Castile starts, his initials are PC. P is the 16th letter, C is the 3rd. 16-3. A shooting 163 days after his birthday, when I continue to say that all of these shootings are synced up and tributes to the governors, the people in office. The span of 5 months and 11 days also stands out because Saturn equals 511 in Jewish gematria and simple English gematria in 93. Saturn, the keeper of time, he has the birth numerology of 93. In history, Bob Marley equals 93. He died on May 11th, 511. Dead by the numbers. Dead from cancer. Cancer equals 44. Chemo equals 44. Kill equals 44. Let me take you back through these two shootings that they got everybody worked up with before we move on to the governor of Texas, mayor of Dallas. They put out these stories that are just bogus. They're completely unbelievable. Ask yourself, how is it possible that in a nation where cops get away with murder, crime all the time, it never sniffs the light of the media, never sniffs the light of justice, ongoing epidemic, how is it that in the same day there's these two graphic videos put out of black men being murdered by cops? Stories of injustice in the same day, syncing up with this narrative, and then the next day a retaliation story. This is a narrative. I can't say it enough. The media is here to provoke you, to pull you along with their lies, their deceit, play you like a fool. The media plays people for fools. If you want to be a fool, continue to trust what you see on TV. That's how you'll know if you're a fool. If you watch this video and then watch the next news story and wonder if that's true, you're a fool. I've been speaking out since September 11th, 2001 about the truth of this media. It is a propaganda weapon and nothing more. It has no credibility. There's no reason for anyone to trust it. You have to be a fool. Anyway, this headline, gematria of 193, the 44th prime number, numbers that are commonly coded. The Orlando shooting came 193 days after the San Bernardino shooting hoax, the 44th prime, both shootings blamed on ISIS. I got videos on both of them. There's way more information. They said the officer in Minnesota was Asian. You can't see him. You can just see his arm sticking through the window with a gun, pointing at a guy bleeding, supposedly, while his girlfriend's talking into Facebook. Completely horrible acting, fictitious scene, mocking propaganda. Anyway, Asian equals 44, like kill. I don't think that's any coincidence either. The powers that be have been very destructive against the Asian people. They've also coded the kill gematria on the word Negro and more. There are real agendas against the people of this world, and some people have been targeted more than others. Black people in this world, Asian people in this world, they very much know that. Hispanics, everybody's been targeted. Some people have gotten worse than others. Asian 44, kill 44, trooper 44, officer 44, shooting 44, military 44. In the video of the shooting in Minnesota, the first words spoken are "stay with me." What's "stay with me" equal? 44. I have a longer video on this. The street's coded out. The name of the street has gematria of 46, like hate crime, like sacrifice. The victim here was Philando Castile, gematria of 67. It's a July 6th shooting, 6th day, 7th month. That blood sacrifice, Gematria 67, Prince died in Minnesota State by these same numbers earlier this year. I predicted Prince's death. I predicted Muhammad Ali's death based on understanding this code. Again, the 67 overlap, Philando Castile, blood sacrifice, Alton Sterling, Freemasonry, Blue Lives Matter, the date of the Blue Lives Matter bill, the shooting Larpenteur Avenue, Simple English Gematria 137, the 33rd prime, Race War 33, Police 33. The spokesperson had the last name Mengseth 33. Larpenteur Pythagorean 46. Just like Dallas Police, just like hate crime, just like Dallas, Texas. There's those initials again. You know, and this shooting comes 163 days after the governor's birthday. Think that's a coincidence? The date of this shooting had a numerology of 49, July 6th. The next day, the shooting was in Dallas, having Gematria 49. It came 49 days before the mayor of Dallas's birthday. The woman speaking in the video in Minnesota, Gematria 49 in the name, also 40, 40th governor. Date numerology of 49, Fry Street, Fry equals 49. Fry Street also has Gematria 25. The next day in Dallas, the shooter would be 25 years old. The name Micah, his name has Gematria 25, Massacre 25. As I continue to say, the details of the stories connect to the next story to come. It's just an ongoing synchronicity. It's all planned this way. And likely, at this day and age, it's all executed by computers. The coding, the plotting. You put these inputs into a computer database, you tell what outputs you want, it could crank out all this stuff for you. The names, the dates to do it. Pretty sure that's what's going on. So anyway, I covered all this in another video. The uncle of the man killed, Clarence Castle, CC, 33 initials, name Gematria 58. Before we get to the mayor and governor, I just also want to go back in case you missed this post. This whole thing with Blue Lives Matter started with Obama a year earlier when he signed a federal bill for police called Blue Alert. Blue Alert, Gematria of 33, like police, like masonry. Obama from Hawaii, one of 3 states with the Gematria 33. Part of this Masonic cartel. This story happened on May 19th, the signing, which was the 139th day of the year. Freemasonry equals 139. Day that leaves 226 days left in the year, a number connected to New York City and propaganda. I just did a video on George Carlin's death where I talk about New York City, 93-226. Check that video out. This connects because Obama signed this bill in remembrance of the New York City police officers killed by the numbers in a hoax, which a video I have on from 2014. The officers he did this for were supposedly Wenjin Liu and Rafael Ramos, NYPD. Check this out. The date they were killed was a date with 46 numerology. Again, sacrifice equals 46. Hate crime equals 46. The names of the officers, Rafael Ramos and Wenjin Liu, Gematria 46. They try to cast them as heroes, Hero 46. The word chaos equals 46. The word Chicago equals 46. Again, this happened in New York. The Masonic and Zionist meccas are New York and Chicago. After the story, they gave more attention to Rafael Ramos. They said the streets were his ministry. Ongoing theme, Ministry 46. NYPD also happens to have Gematria 59, like killing Jewish Gematria equals 59. It's the first black president signing this bill. Negro equals 59, slave 59, blues 59, Motown came out in 59. The date of the signing was a date with 59 numerology as well. When I say everything that is done by this government, by this media, is done by the numbers, I mean it. Everything. You learn these skills, you apply the knowledge, you'll be saying the same things as me. And everyone who you show this knowledge to, who laughs at you, who says they're crazy, if you can get them to look at it and apply it for just a second, they'll start to see. And really, you have to be blind to be exposed to this information and then say it's not true. Because anyone who watches my videos and then turns on the TV, they start to see how these numbers are just plastered on the screen again and again. Not any coincidence. All right, so here's Mayor Mike Rawlings. He was at the heart and center of the scripting of this Dallas shooting. We're going to find out why he is the mayor of Dallas, another Masonic man, born to be. We're also going to talk about how this favors Hillary Clinton and how the headlines since the shooting have been tributes to Hillary's presidency. So, the name of the mayor, Mayor Mike Rawlings. In Gematria, that name sums to 87 and 96. Remember both numbers. They're both important. Freemason equals 96. In simple English gematria, the name Mayor Mike Rawlings equals 213, which, interestingly enough, is a number connected to the killing of black men throughout history. You never seen my work on the death of Tupac Shakur? Check it out. Killed by the number 213 very explicitly. His last studio album while he was alive came out February 13th, 2/13. He would die 213 days later. Of course, there's the rap group out of California, LA area code 213. Nate Dogg ended up dying by that number. A lot of people have died by that number. Len Bias, more. The phrase right now with black Americans protesting is hands up, don't shoot. And hands up, don't shoot has gematria of 213. If you've never seen my video on when the Los Angeles Rams came out, holding up their hands, doing the hands up, don't shoot, go back and watch. See how coded out it was. It'll blow your mind. Hands up, don't shoot is part of this sick joke. Just like how Black Lives has the same gematria as race war and the most hateful word for black Americans, the N-word. Black Lives equals you know what. With regards to 213, we talked about February 13th. That's the 44th day of the year, the kill number. Also, the original Freemason, Nimrod, they say, from the Bible, Nimrod's got that gematria. The number 44, very special to the Freemasons. They have grand lodges. Grand equals 44. It's all coming in the time of the 44th president. The mayor, born in 54, currently 61 years old. Obama, born in 61, currently 54 years old. Obama, born the year JFK became president, who would be assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Look at this. From July 7th, the day of the shooting, to the mayor's birthday is 49 days. And Dallas itself has gematria 49. Think about the date, 7-7. 7 times 7, 49. Dallas, Texas also sums to 118, like death, like Baton Rouge, like the name of the officer who killed Alton Sterling. The name of the shooter in Dallas, what is his name? Micah Xavier Johnson. I just did this video on Micah Xavier Johnson. His name in gematria equals 118. They're calling him Micah X. That equals 58 like Freemasonry. Check out my video on Micah. I did that first because it's more important than this. People need to see the symbolism and where they might be going with this story. JFK was the 44th term president. Obama's the 44th president. Earlier this year, there was the story of a Middle Eastern kid who brought a clock to school that they thought was a bomb that was in Dallas. Then they invited him to the White House. I think that was some predictive programming. The date the mayor was born is a date with 106 numerology. That's the number of prophecy. Prophecy equals 106. The first state in the United States, Delaware, was established on a date with 106 numerology. Israel, the Zionist state, established on a date with 106 numerology. This nation began from Revelation, the book of prophecy. Revelation equals 49. Very special number. The first headline out after the shooting had 106 gematria. He's also born on a date with a life lesson number of 52. Prophecy, the small way equals 52. Born on a date with 87 numerology. Mayor Mike Rawlings equals 87. Talk about born to be. As I continue to say, a lot of these politicians, celebrities, they're born to be. They're born into these Masonic families, and their whole lives are planned ahead of them. I think a lot of this stuff that we're living out was determined a very long time ago, and we haven't stopped that agenda, an agenda that was put in place since the beginning of this nation. Now people are born into it, fulfill their destiny, fulfill their role, while we the masses get sold out and lied to. Down in the description, I'm going to link all the contact information for all the mayors and governors. Everyone needs to be calling these people. Jeff Young heard the call. He made the calls yesterday. I made the calls. Other people posted on my Facebook wall in the comments, they made the calls. Everyone who's making the calls is making the difference. The day 100,000 people swamp the offices, which easily can be done, it can be done. We live in a nation of hundreds of millions of people who are getting screwed over by lies and deceit. Get a small percentage, which is 100,000, to make a phone call, we can change the world in a day. It's going to take more than phone calls, but when these people know that they're outed, when they got people calling them saying, hey, Mayor Mike Rawlings, what's up with this happening 49 days before your birthday? And, this happening with this and this and this. Every governor getting called out on this. This is what's going on. This isn't some, anomaly. This is what's going on every single time. These people are outed. So now let's start to get to how this is going to benefit Hillary Clinton. This is coming as the political, season heats up. The election's November 8th, not too far away. Mayor, gunman acted alone. What's that equal in gematria? The headlines are always using gematria. 87, just like Mayor Mike Rawlings. A headline about the mayor, syncing up with his name, which syncs up with his birth numerology. If you just take what's after the mayor part, look at this. Gunman acted alone. 60, like Mike Rawlings, like police. And this event is about, building up the police. I've been talking about this in each video. The news saying the police are outgunned, out-armored. They need upgrades. This shooting, further proof. They're calling it the Dallas sniper attack. They're also saying he was using an AR-15. I've never heard of an AR-15 being referred to as a sniper rifle. But Dallas sniper attack equals 60, just like police. And this is very much about the police. The word conspiracy with the S exception also sums to 60. Very fitting because the police are always involved. This headline right here made me think about something. 5 officers killed, 12 shot in ambush. City in Jewish gematria equals 512. This shooting very much having a lot to do with the city Dallas. City of revelation, city of prophecy, city of past tragedy. This also means 5 officers killed, 7 injured. Remember, the Alton Sterling shooting was on July 5th, a date that can be written 5/7. City also equals 57. A memorable day for the city. The reason I have England on here with its gematria 57 is because Alton Sterling, the pound sterling, the currency of the UK, is collapsing right now. And I think this is part of the coding of the story. All of this stuff planned out long in advance. There's been people writing books for more than a century about how central banking collapses intentionally to screw over the people and continue the ongoing House of Cards agenda. This has happened before. What's coming for us? I'm not preaching the message of fear. I'm preaching the message of wake up, prepare your mind, speak out, stop the injustice. Whatever they have planned for us, it's not nice. We can stop it, though. That's my message. Scottish Rite, as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, equals 57. 37 equals 57. The age of Alton Sterling, supposedly. Dallas, Texas, Baton Rouge, gematria of 118. The name of the officer who killed Alton Sterling, Blaine Salamone, one of the 2 officers. His name, gematria, is 46, the small way, 118, the big way. Familiar numbers here, right? Baton Rouge, Dallas, police, hate crime. My man Dar O'Brien, search this name on YouTube. Dar O'Brien has learned from me. He makes videos. He makes them a different way, though, and I like the way he does it. He has video editing skills. He knows how to put in the music. He doesn't speak. He just does the math on the screen with words and music behind it. Very nice. He gets out a lot of information in 5-minute videos. Brilliant guy. He's over in the UK, Dar. He made some observations about the DART police, which we'll get to, the Masonic coding. Just notice that Dallas area rapid transit has gematria of 223. That's going to be important when we talk about the governor of Texas. But first, we need to talk about how this shooting hoax benefits Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton came out yesterday on July 8th, a date that is written 8/7, like 87. And she said, there's a terrible disconnect in America with violence and guns. Clinton equals 87, just like the mayor, like the number stamped in other headlines. So does what's emphasized in her phrase. Terrible disconnect equals 87, just like Clinton. And this comes on July 8th. From Election Day, November 8th, to Inauguration Day, an interesting span of days. But what's even more interesting is that from Hillary's birthday to Inauguration Day is 87 days. Hillary, one of these people born to be, surely will be our next president. Another emphasized phrase, absolutely horrific event, gematria of 113, like mainstream, like dishonest, like green screen, like perjury, like Scottish as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Learn your gematria, you'll learn what they're emphasizing. They're emphasizing the mockery of the lies we're bombarded with. If you haven't seen the first video I put out on Dallas, I showed how the media was trying to make it seem like there was something scary going on when they were staging the shooting, which never happened in Dallas. All people heard were caps, sound effects, special effects, nonsense. Anyhow, I showed how in the early moments of that, there was this police officer pretending like something was going on against the back of a bus. You could tell that nothing was going on because he was just standing there casually. And then you could tell he got like cued, like the cameras told him to, like, oh, we're rolling action. And then all of a sudden he got into like alert position, up against the corner of the bus. Anyway, the license plate right on the bus, 113. And it's all staged like this. They do this every time. They go to these lengths. These numbers are so important to them. You doubt that? Let's look at all what's in the name Gregory Wayne Abbott, the 48th governor of Texas, born on the date of the what is now known as the Paris ISIS shooting hoax day, November 13th, Friday the 13th. Notice he was born in the year 57, currently 58 years old. This guy's got a lot going on here. Gregory Wayne Abbott in gematria sums to 88, like poison and program. Greg Abbott equals 43, like Civil War, like Charleston, where the Civil War began. Abraham Lincoln, born on the 43rd day of the year. His full name, though, Gregory Wayne Abbott, in simple English gematria sums to 223, the number connected to the Masons. Greg Abbott, the big way, is also 97, like Civil War. Barack, in Jewish gematria, sums to 97, like Civil War. A lot of parallels to the Civil War president. Barack Obama is considered the 44th president, but he's really only the 43rd person to be president. He was elected November 4th, 2008 on a date with 43 numerology. Gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park, the land of Lincoln. Grant Park equals 43 in gematria. The reason he's 43 is because Grover Cleveland counted as 22 and 24. So ever since 24 up to the present, the count's been off by one. Back to this governor's name, Gregory Wayne Abbott, gematria 223. I've never seen a name like this before. In Jewish gematria, his name sums to 2,230. 223 as well. Remember, 0, not that important in numerology. Very interesting that this guy's name is a double 223 code. Very special number to the Freemasons. They said in Dallas, where the shooting happened, almost all the officers were connected to Dallas area rapid transit. If any police officers were really killed, they were killed by police officers within their own department. A story came out that 50 Dallas police have resigned within the last month just before the shooting. And perhaps it's because a memo went out and said you're either on board or you're off board. And maybe the real decent people within the police department stepped out. The police are corrupt. Most police officers, horrible human beings, they want to carry a gun and have authority. And anyone who's ever needed the police knows the police are not here to help us. The police are here to protect the tyrants, to maintain the tyrannical order. We would be safer without police. Anyone who disagrees with that, check out my video, The Consequences of Being a Truth Speaker. I'm someone who's been destroyed by my local police department for speaking out and exposing the lies. I exposed the Washington State shooting hoax. Within 2 weeks, my home was burglarized by the police. And shortly after that, they made my life a living hell. Getting my neighbor to file a restraining order against me. He was friends with the police, a man a lot older than me, began harassing me, called the police on me one day. The police took his side, arrested me. I'd never been arrested in my life. All of this happening just after exposing the shooting hoax in Washington State at Marysville High School. But this is what it's all about here, police and Freemasonry, And this nation, the Star-Spangled Banner 223. In Revelation, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. The synagogue of Satan, we call them the Zionist Jews. Synagogue of Satan 223. So who controls us? The Masons and Zionists. You know, you don't have to be a Christian to recognize that what's written in Revelation is true. The governor's birthday, a date with a life lesson number of 46, like Dallas, Texas, like Dallas police, like hate crime. Birth numerology connecting back to Chicago. Probably has roots there. From the date of the shooting until the date of his birthday is 129 days. America in Jewish gematria equals 129. Propaganda for a nation, you know. His birthday has the weakest of the connections, that's for sure, but it's no doubt he's another Mason in high places selling out the masses. Pretending police drills are tragedies. Real quick, let's just look at this shooting last year in Dallas for some familiar numbers. It was James Boulware last year. What's James Boulware equal? 46, just like Dallas, Texas, like hate crime, like Dallas police. It's always the same, you guys. Police officer then who was documenting the account, David Brown, Gematria 49, same guy this year. If you haven't seen my first video on the Dallas shooting, I show how all the people going on the news had name Gematria corresponding with Dallas. It's always propaganda by the numbers. If the story's in the mainstream, what your mind should say is, aha, I know that's bullshit. Aha, there's some more bullshit. If you're ever watching a mainstream story thinking, I wonder if this is true, you're not getting it. The mainstream media does not report real information. They report propaganda for agenda, period. They don't have time for anything else. Real bad things do happen. The media doesn't report on those, just the contrived ones. And with regards to the Alton Sterling UK Brexit thing, remember Brexit equals 33. They said 33 million people voted. Cameron equals 33. David Cameron's out. The Remain vote's out. Remain equals 33. Anyway, they're now saying that hate crimes are up in the UK. This story came out yesterday. And it made me laugh that they coded 42%. It's the same racism over there. 42 stamped on black people throughout the world. You know, divide and conquer worldwide. Race, religion, sexuality. The same thing goes on there that goes on here. What went on there is what was brought to here. It's just a joke, you know? We have to end this one world, new world order and restore sanity. Now, I know this video is getting long in the tooth, but let's also go through the 5 reported dead police officers. These are victims, not real people. 5 officers slain. Boom, 136, just like Dallas and Jewish gematria. 5 officers slain. Who were they? 129, just like America, just like 129 days from the governor to the shooting. Governor's birthday to the shooting. This shooting came on July 7th, 16. 16 in numerology is 1 plus 6 equals 7. So in numerology terms, the day was 777. Order out of chaos. Freemason motto, 777. Major order out of chaos. Again, chaos equals 46. Like hate crime, like Dallas police. With regards to the 7-7, police officer equals 77. Police department equals 77. This is the worst killing of police officers since 9/11, which was another orchestrated hoax. False flag equals 33 like police. The first officer dead that they talk about, Brent Thompson, the Freemason Lodge down there, put out an article about how he was a brother of the lodge. I want you to notice they said he was 43 years old, and he worked for the DART, Dallas Area Rapid Transit. DART equals 43. Civil War equals 43. They're starting to start a civil war. The Freemasons believe in divide and conquer, order through chaos. We're talking about a police officer, someone that nobody should have any faith in. The police are scum. Yeah, there might be a nice mall cop out there that holds a door for somebody, but you know what? I don't care. If you want to wear a gun, wear a badge representing this law that we have, that makes you a villain. Because the laws we have in this nation are awful laws. They're not to be upheld by anyone. They're not to be obeyed by anyone. They're only here to serve tyrants. Look at all the peaceful people in prison who just want to get high. In the land of the free, you can't get high without going to prison. Come on, sheep. This isn't the land of the free. This is the land of mind control, the land of slaves, slaves who regurgitate lies. Land of the free, home of the brave, my ass. Land of the cowardly, the silent, the rule followers, the order obeyers. So here's Brent Thompson, who supposedly died, who got the most coverage in the news out of the officers. The first name released, worked for DART or Dallas Area Rapid Transit. He was a Freemason. Brent Thompson equals 62, just like Mason, also like the name Alton, connected to the Alton Sterling shooting. Brent Thompson equals 179. That's the 41st prime number. Number 4113. Dallas in gematria, the smallest way, sums to 13. 41, the 13th prime. Brent Thompson dead in Dallas. Watch my how-to gematria video to learn how to do all the methods of gematria. Important language to learn, interrelated coding systems. So here's the post from the Freemason Lodge, brother killed in Dallas shooting. The word brother has gematria 41 as well. Highly doubt Brent's dead. Who even knows if that was ever his real name? He might have changed it when he went into Freemasonry just to set up for this agenda. Maybe now Brent Thompson gets to live the rest of his life as a millionaire for participating in the hoax. That would be some incentive, huh? Paid for by us, the taxpayers who get duped with the lies. The man mentioning his name in the article is James Spiller. James Spiller, police chief. Let's check out the name James Spiller. James Spiller, 49, like Dallas, like Revelation. The big way, James Spiller, just like Freemasonry. Remember, Obama signed his blue alert bill on the 139th day. So then the next officer released is Patrick Zamirpa, and right away, if you have a brain, you go, oh, that's a bullshit name. Nobody's named Zamirpa. There's no Zamirpas out there. Guess what Zamirpa equals? 49, just like Dallas, just like Revelation. Patrick equals 33, like police, with the K exception, 42, like Freemason. They released his name on July 8th. Patrick also 7-8, like the date. Zamirpa 103, a lot like 13. Dallas, the small way, 13. Put his name together, it's 181, the 42nd prime number. We just had the 41st prime number. Now here's the 42nd prime number. So they code their stories. His initials PZ. P's the 16th letter, Z the 26th. Put it together, 42. They said he was the father of two. When the story first broke, there were 2 police officers shot. 2 has the same gematria as Freemasonry. The word father also equals 58, which I meant to write up here. Father of 2, father 58, 258, Freemasonry 58. Pray for Dallas, the hashtag in his story, 58. The word amen equals 33, the number of Freemason obsession. A lot of 33 in the Bible. Genesis 33, just like Big Bang. I'm telling you, the Freemasons have built this world around us. They've edited the spiritual text. They've edited science. They control the news. It's all about keeping us in a box. Notice that 1202 post time, a lot like 122 Freemason, the Francis Bacon method. Some guy just named Dustin puts it out there. Love you, brother, Dustin. What's Dustin equal 33 like police? Of course, then the next officer is Michael Kroll. Looks like he's wearing a Ranger Park outfit. Red background, very suspicious. Doesn't look very legit. Kroll worked for Wayne County Sheriff's Office from 2003 to 2007. So anyway, Michael Kroll in gematria sums to the same thing as shooting in Mason. Of course, Michael, a 33 name, like police, like Patrick. Michael, 51 like conspiracy. Michael Kroll, the big way, just like shooting. Kroll gematria, 56, just like Black Lives Matter. 56th governor out in Louisiana. Just making it up as they go, you know, just forging the identities. Who cares if the details don't make sense? A police officer killed. All they got a picture from is from 2003 to 2007, almost a decade ago. I mean, when they put out these details, they just know that nobody's going to question it. They know that in America, most people are busy with school, work, and when they're not busy, they're using their time to watch movies, TV shows, play video games. You know, everybody just wants to be entertained in this nation, which is a big part of the problem. When I was 18, I recognized there was a war upon us when September 11th happened. I was 18 when that happened. I said, okay, I see where I live. I live in a nation where my government is at war with me, lying to me, feeding me propaganda, you know, negatively impacting my life. That's a war. People don't recognize it. There is a war being waged against you. Your life is being ruled over by warmonger tyrants who make your life a lot worse than it needs to be, who torment you needlessly, and also give you entertainment that makes your life just tolerable enough to go on with. Your life could be a million times better at this day and age with the technology we have. Do you people recognize what age we live in? We have technology that could grow our food for us, do almost all the work, even package it up and bring it to us. You know, we've come so far in technology. And if we weren't a people that were about greed, all that technology could benefit us and let us have lives of leisure. You know, more time to spend with our family, our friends, educating ourselves about this world. But instead, what happens? You know, we're made to live under this tyranny, slave debt system where we go out and have all this busy time with our meaningless jobs that nobody needs to even really be doing. What's the point of all this? Just to keep us so busy that we can't stop the system that's in place. This system's going to run until the day they decide it's time to get rid of all of us. I still think that's a long way away. We got time to speak out and stop it. That's why I'm doing this. They also give the uncle in the story Jim Elkey. Jim Elkey. What's Jim Elkey equal? 46 like Dallas police? You know? It's all just a bunch of bullshit. Here's another officer. He looks like a real police officer to me. You know why? Because he's fat as fuck. Most police officers, fat as hell, overweight, not able to protect anyone. And their job doesn't call for protecting anyone. It calls for driving around in their car, giving people needless tickets, responding 5 hours after the fact to a real crime, not doing shit about it. Can we get rid of these fucking losers that we call police? This guy's name, Lorne Ahrens. Yeah, like that name looks real. Gematria 57, reminding of city, reminding of 5 dead, 7 injured, Scottish Rite. The Freemason Lodge just down the street from the Dallas Police Department. Alton Sterling shooting on 5-7. His name, Gematria 129, like America as well. The parting words in this story from Sergeant Anthony Gunn. How fitting for a shooting tribute. Got Sergeant Anthony Gunn weighing in. Sergeant Anthony Gunn equals 199, the 46th prime number. Supposedly this guy worked at these 2 locations, Lennon Station and Lancaster Station, Gematria 56, like Black Lives Matter. Here's what it says about him. Lorne left the department as a law enforcement technician on January 23, 2002, and officially began his service with the Dallas Police Department just 2 days later. The day he left, a date with 46 numerology, 123, a lot like conspiracy. Coded. And then the 5th officer, this is all they wrote about him. This is all the information they gave out for the 5th officer. You remember, first they said 4 dead, 7 injured, then it went to 5 and 6 injured. Michael Smith, the 5th officer, this is all they said. Smith joined the department in 89. That's the year the new Black Panther Party was created. New Black Panther Party equals 89. They were talking about that in the shooting. Again, Michael 33. The name Smith equals 33. Police. All right, truth seeker. I think you get it. Be sure to call your mayors, your governors. Let them know that we know. If these people don't want to peacefully stand down and admit the Masonic fraud tyrants they are, we need to gather the men who recognize the war that's upon them and do what needs to be done about it, you know? And all of you who get all, ooh, you can't say that. What nation do you live in? You live in a nation where they tell you your history is. That's exactly how it began. The people had to overthrow the tyrants this exact same way. Look at us in 2016. Just don't want to be all politically correct about everything. You know? Just want to talk about things. I'm looking for people who want to do something. I'm not out here giving away my life the last 3 years, putting out all this work, you know, just have everything stolen, be jailed, and have everyone just not do anything about it while things get worse. All right, I'll put that list together. It'll be in the description. You got to make these phone calls. That's the only way things are going to get done. And if these people don't hear our phone calls, then we go to phase 2. Till next time, true seekers.